What's up everybody, it's CJ and I'm back with another Plesantville renovation video. So I'm going to be calling this house the Traveler's Home. So when I first saw this house, I was really inspired by the red Kinspa in the front yard and I was like, oh, I know exactly the kind of sim that's going to live here. So this sim is a traveler. She's never really home, but when she does come home, she stores her artifacts. She's been all over. She's been to China, Egypt, France. She's been everywhere. And she loves hanging out with the locals and learning the culture and bringing back relics and artifacts and stuff like that. So I knew I wanted to give her like a really nice, comfortable home. So when she is home, maybe she can kind of just hang out here for a couple days and then be back on the road. So I was also really trying to use a lot of the objects from the World Adventures pack. Most of the objects that I did use are from that pack. However, some were not. Like the curtains I used were from Ambitions. I used some stuff from the base game. But for the most part, this house is World Adventures, which I was kind of happy about because I never really use anything from this pack. Like, I think a lot of it is because a lot of the items from this pack are super heavily themed, you know, and I feel like I don't always need that in every one of my sim builds, you know. So I do want to ask y'all, what is y'all's least used Sims 3 pack? Because I feel like I never really use World Adventures all too often. The only reason why I bought it back in the day was because it came bundled with Generations, and I was like, oh, well, if I'm gonna get Generations anyway, I might as well get like another pack along with it. So like, that's honestly the only reason why I have the pack. But yeah, like, what is y'all's least used pack? For me, I think in general, I just don't have my Sims travel that much because I feel like, especially in The Sims 3, as most of us already know by now, the more you travel or the more you play, like, the save file just gets bigger and bigger all the time. And I feel like whenever you travel, you kind of just make the save file a little bit bigger, and then when you come home, it's a little bit bigger, so you keep traveling, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And sometimes save files will get to a certain point where they just won't open anymore, or it'll take a long time to load, or like it'll crash very frequently. Like, save files have just been around for a while, they're just not that good to play in sometimes. So I feel like, for me personally, anything that I can do to kind of reduce save file bloat, I kind of do it. So like, my Sims don't go to university, we don't go into the future unless I have to for a challenge or something. So I feel like for me, I'm more of a, you know, stay in one world. Maybe if we move, I used a porter mod to move my Sims or something, but like, I'm very much a homebody simmer. But as you can see, the house is starting to take shape. As you can see, I used a lot of the objects from World Adventures. I feel like that couch might be the one thing that I use probably the most from the pack. I also had to remind myself that this is a house and I needed to have a kitchen in here, so I put the kitchen in this corner. This house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. However, I turned one of the bedrooms into a relic room, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as of now, we are in the kitchen, so I'm using some of these base game countertops. I've been using them a lot lately, but I think they just look really nice. And I'm really not trying to use a lot of store content this time around with this series, so I didn't want to use my base site counters, but you know, these are a good alternative, you know. So I use some of those. The stove is from the Supernatural pack, the fridge is from the base game, and then the range hood is from the pets pack. Now, I did swap the position of the stove quite a bit, so you'll see that there's like this countertop right beside the stove. I kind of kept switching them around a little bit, so as of now, it's, you know, right here. So in the end, I ended up moving the stove back to where it was originally. The reason why is because when I put up curtains, the curtains kind of like clipped into the stove, and I know like it doesn't really matter in terms of the Sims, but I feel like in real life that would definitely catch on fire. So I was like, maybe if I just move the stove back to where it was, it won't be as bad, you know. But for the kitchen, I did make sure to put up a coffee machine. At first I used the one from the base game, but then as I was going through the items from World Adventures, I realized that there's actually like a little espresso machine, so I was like, why don't we just use that one instead? So we have an espresso machine. I put some clutter up, like some paper towels, and I also put like the little lemonade picture from the outdoor living stuff pack, so I put that in the corner as well. I was going to put a kitchen table, and there's definitely room for one, maybe like a small table, but I just did not like how it looked in this space, so I didn't put a table. And it kind of makes sense in a way because like, this sim is not really home that much, so I feel like she probably doesn't even have a table. If anything, she eats in front of the TV, or she like eats in her room or something, so like, I just didn't put a table, but you could definitely put one if you wanted to. There is space, but I think maybe you should put like a small table probably. Also, one thing that I was really happy about too is that I didn't really use move objects for this build. I think I turned it on for some stuff, but like for the most part, I did not use move objects, which I was really happy about because like, I always use move objects for like pretty much all my builds, but I didn't really do it this time. So as of now, as you can see, I'm trying to like figure out where the bedroom is going to be. So I was going to first make this room into the bedroom, but then I was like, no, maybe this one could be like the relic room or something. So I'm using this bed from World Adventures, and y'all, this has got to be one of my least favorite beds in the game. It's not because I think it looks bad, it's just I don't like canopy beds in The Sims. I feel like they just take up a lot of space, and they're just kind of big, and I just don't really like using them that much, but I knew I wanted to kind of try to use it today, so I'm using this one. So when it comes to like the flooring in the bedroom, I knew that I wanted to put carpet in here just to kind of break up some of that hardwood floor. So I'm using the carpet from the base game. I think I swapped it out for a different one. And then for the color of the room, I wanted to go for like a purple-ish kind of color scheme in here. You know, purple is the color of royalty after all. So I kind of wanted to have like a fancy bedroom, seeing as how we have this really fancy canopy bed. I also used some of that brick wallpaper. I think it's from the base game, I want to say, and I just kind of recolored it a little bit. It took me a while to kind of like figure out what color to make the bed actually. I didn't know I wanted it to be purple at first until I was playing around with the color wheel and I was like, ooh, this is a really nice color. I also ended up putting a base game rug underneath the bed, and then for the nightstand and the dresser, I ended up using the ones from World Adventures, but I think those are like the Chinese ones, I want to say. Oh, and I was going to use this bookshelf too, y'all, but then I was like, man, we ain't got no space for it. I was like, I have no space for the bookshelf. So I moved the bookshelf to the relic room because I was like, I gotta use that one because I never use it for anything. But as you can see now, I'm trying to like find the dresser. So I did settle for the other one. This one was a little bit smaller and I recolored it to kind of be like brownish so it could kind of match in some more with the colors. I will say though that a lot of this build, y'all, was me trying to figure out what kind of clutter to use. So World Adventures comes with like a lot of artifacts and stuff like that and just a lot of treasure. So I was like trying to figure out what to kind of put in here. So at first you'll see me using like that big like statue, but I was like, that's too big. I put this snake artifact up, and then I also ended up putting some like cameras, like shower in a can and stuff like that. I feel like the sim that lives here definitely uses this stuff quite frequently, so whenever she comes home, she kind of like puts it nearby. We even have some incense up in here as well. I'm using the matching nightstand that comes with the dresser, and then I was trying to figure out what to kind of put in here to kind of finish off the room. So I found like the pharaoh like head sculpture thing, so I ended up putting that in here as well. I put it in the far end of the room, and I just recolored it a little bit, and that's pretty much it for the bedroom. I just think it looks really nice and relaxing in here. All right, so the next room that we're going to be tackling is the bathroom. So this one isn't really that big, and it's kind of unfortunate though because I don't know why. I thought this whole entire time that the World Adventures pack came with a shower or a tub, but apparently it doesn't. It just comes with a toilet. So I used the toilet from that pack, and then for the tub, I think I used one from the base game. I was going to use a shower tub combo at first, but I was like, maybe that's a little bit too big for this space. I'm using some more of those same countertops from the kitchen, and then I was trying to like figure out like how to clutter up the bathroom a little bit. So at first I almost used the medicine cabinet object from the base game, but I was like, I don't know. I couldn't really find a place to put it on the wall. Like I moved those fans over a little bit, but I didn't really like how it looked there. So I decided to delete it and just put the fans back. And I kind of went with like a burgundy-ish color scheme for the bathroom. I think the bathroom also looks relaxing. I did end up going back though to put a window in the bathroom. I just kind of felt like it needed something. So I put like one of the little small ones from the base game. So instead of me using this medicine cabinet, I ended up using the towel object from the Town Life stuff pack. I thought that looked a lot better in here on the wall as well. And then I ended up putting like a little rug from the base game in here as well. And last but not least, we have the relic room. This room to me was the funnest one to furnish because I got to use a lot of objects that I never used before. So you'll see me starting off, I'm trying to figure out what color to make the wallpaper. So I settled for a light blue color. I was still trying to make the house kind of light and airy, if that makes sense. So I didn't really want to have like a dark color in here. So I went with a light blue. I ended up putting this book. So I recolored this bookshelf. I ended up moving it over here to this little nook space, and then we have like this big like fan object. I had to honestly use the Sim3 tool mod to kind of get it where I want it, so I had to like move it over to the side a little bit to kind of make room for like the big display table that I put down in here. I ended up putting like that axe object on the wall. We have like the Egyptian artifact on the wall as well. I was using a lot of by debug for this one because I really just wanted to use objects that I never get to use, you know? So this was like the perfect opportunity. Like I really love doing this series, y'all, because it's allowing me to kind of think outside of the box and do different things that I never would normally do. Like I don't think I've ever made a house for a sim that's like a traveler before. So this is kind of cool, right? But as you can see now, I'm putting like the little display pedestal in here. I'm also using the display table as well, and I made sure to fill them up with a lot of artifacts. Most of the artifacts that I put on top of it are the ones from Egypt. And then to kind of finish off this room, I did also put some blinds and curtains in here. I feel like she probably wouldn't want the whole neighborhood to know that she has all these like priceless artifacts in her house. So we have blinds and we have curtains, and I feel like when she's not home, she closes everything up tight. No one messes with her because I know she would hate to come home to all her stuff being gone, so I made sure to give her some privacy. But in all, y'all, that's pretty much it for the entire build. I almost forgot to put a trash can in here and then I look at the footage, but I did go back and put a trash can. But anyway, y'all, that is everything for this video. Please be sure to stick around for the screenshot so you can see how the house will look when you go to download it. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Follow me over on on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims. Honestly, I am about to start the next generation of my Jam Legacy Challenge, and we literally have to travel for that challenge, so I'm gonna probably go to either Egypt, China, or France to get like relics and stuff, because we have to have like a complete collection from one of the worlds, so I'm gonna be going there very soon. So if you want to like see it, feel free to follow me over on Twitch, y'all. I do have a VOD channel on YouTube where I post all my Twitch streams, so I can leave that link down below if you just want to, like, you know, watch it that way. All my streams are posted on that channel a couple days after I stream, so you should be able to, like, watch it kind of soon. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!